We've still got a fantastic entrepreneurial private sector. They've kept this industry growing, and going and growing over the last few years. But I think if as government, there was a few enablers that we can address, this industry can really grow. So the important one is the e-visa. It's a no-brainer. We have to do a decent e-visa system because we require visas from a lot of countries, and until those people can get them easily, especially major generating markets in Africa, India and China. Fixing up our national public transport regulator is just a no-brainer as well, and that's not even a big thing. That should be a small thing. Get it fixed. It's not hard. The next biggest one then that we really need to address is making it a safer destination and also spreading the message that it's not such an unsafe destination for South Africans. That is vital because that has been one of the biggest inhibitors of tourism growth for decades in this country, literally, and we know it and we know it gets out there. We need to drive the China-ready strategy because the markets out there, Chinese, are the biggest outbound generator in the world. They're the biggest spenders, and if we don't play in that market or we carry on playing in that market at like less than point something of a percent, well then we're just plain stupid because they're the biggest tourism market. And it's like saying over the last 100 years or 50 years, oh yeah, we're going to have tourism, but we're not going to care about the British tourists. We won't want any British tourists. They're not important. That's sort of the equivalent of saying we don't get ourselves ready for China. We've had a national airline that has neither served the national interest nor been a profitable commercial airline. It's sort of been in the middle. So I always say there's two continuums. You've got a fantastic commercial airline, or you've got a national airline that serves the national interest. And if you look at destinations like Dubai and before that Spain, their national airline was a massive driver of their initial tourism industry. And we've never used our airline like that. If we fail to use our airline like that, because there's a lot of issues there, we need to work as Cape Town did with the national airline pulled out to drive air access. And you can do it, and other countries do it, and the airlines are used to working with national governments that do what they call route development to bring the flights in. If I could speak to the President, which I have never done, and I could say to him, President, we know we're in the dwang economically in this country, and we need economic growth, but the most important thing we need is to create jobs for people. We have massive rates of unemployment. There is one industry that is probably your best one, that is easy to lever, that will deliver economic growth and jobs. And with that, it brings in foreign exchange, it distributes the jobs rurally, it employs women and youth. It's just the perfect one. So I think you've got to take the foot on the pedal for tourism only to begin with. Just get tourism right. It will help you stimulate manufacturing, it will help you stimulate agriculture, it'll start to take up jobs. At the same time, tourism offers you this opportunity of rebranding the country. You're perpetually telling people overseas what a wonderful place South Africa is, which plays into trade and investment anyhow. Business and events tourism plays into trade and investment. And then start looking at agriculture or mining or motor manufacturing or carry on doing those. But just get a singular focus on this industry and you will deliver jobs faster than in any other sector and with any other growth opportunity. To the private sector, realise that you are operating in an African country with a population of 50-some million, the predominantly of which is black Africans, and we need to bring those people into our industry, and we need to make sure they don't feel they're excluded when they're living in the poorer communities adjacent to what we have. So we need to bring them into the industry, we need to develop the skills, develop the management and the ownership capability, and we need to be open to them as our clients. The African market also doesn't necessarily feel comfortable here. There's other challenges there as well. Unfortunately, xenophobia and the fear of crime is actually bigger in the African markets than it is in the European markets in terms of the safety issues here. But Africans need to feel comfortable in our product all over the place. And we need to see it just as important to bring them in as tourists as bringing in Europeans or Chinese. And we need to bring our own people in as tourists. I think the last thing we really need to do is, I was talking to the President, I was talking to the private sector, we need to build trust in the relationship. We need to understand that we have slightly different drivers, but the same thing is going to deliver for both parties, and nobody's trying to outdo the other. And it's not an easy one necessarily, but we need to start building trust and a partnership approach to everything.